Hello. Hello. My name is Jessie. A couple days ago, or yesterday or something, I don't know, I was on YouTube and I saw this video by this girl named Sabrina. Her channel name is Bean and the Book. I wrote it down. I'll put a link in the description for her video. But she made up a tag that is a May Quarantine Readathon, and I don't know why, but I decided to participate. And when I say I don't know why, I mean because I'm terrible with creating a TBR for a given period of time and sticking to it, because I'm such a mood reader and I'm like, I don't want to read, I want to read a different book. But for some reason I was like, you know, let's do this anyway. So I decided to try it, and today I'm going to tell you about all of the books that are on that list. It has 10 prompts, so we're just going to go through. And the first prompt is an adult or YA romance novel, and I picked Time of Our Lives by Emily Wibberly and siegemund-broka. I almost switched their names. Whoops. So, this book just came out like a week ago, I think. I don't know. I was really excited for it. I had no idea what it was about until I got it. So basically what this is about these two kids, senior in high school, both have very different ideas about college. Fitz, he wants to stay very close to home to take care of his mom while he's in college, and Juniper wants to get as far away from her family as possible, but then they end up running into each other on like a college tour or something, and they're probably gonna fall in love. And that's pretty much how their books go, which is why I love them. And also I just really like this cover. I thought it was so pretty, and their outfits are so cute. Second one is a novel that's been on your TBR for a while, and I picked The Program by Suzanne Young. I've been wanting to read this book since like middle school or high school. I have no idea. It's been a very long time. And also my best friend just informed me that 6th grade was 11 years ago, and I'm still not okay. I made a TikTok about it. I will post that because I think it's really funny. Don't remember what The Program is about. I remember thinking it was cool, and I remember really wanting to read it, but also it's like a 6 or 7 books. Wait, is it 5 books? I thought it was 6. Okay, at the time this particular edition was published, there were only 5 books out, and there was a 6th book to come. This book is is the first installment in a fairly long series, and I don't read a ton of series books because I can't commit to them. But usually I can't commit to them because it's like waiting for each one to come out every year. I just give up on them. But since all of them are out now, as far as I know, maybe if I really like this one, I'll just binge all of them. Maybe I'll get to that finally in my life. So with suicide now an international epidemic, blah 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 blah. So this book takes place in a world where suicide is a national epidemic. All I need to know. I've recently been doing a thing where I start reading books without really knowing too much of what they're about. Within the first like 100 pages, I go back and do some research to figure out what it's about, but also sometimes you just figure it out because I'm nosy and I like to know things. Yeah, I've been wanting to read this book for anywhere between 5 and 11 years, and I just haven't done it. Wait, let's look at when this was published. Text copyright 2013. Okay, so this book came out 7 years ago, so I've been wanting to read it for 7 years, and I have not. Probably the book that's been on my TBR for the longest. So we're gonna finally read that. Okay, the next prompt is a novel that is about a plague or sick people. And I picked House of Salt and Sorrow by Erin Craig. I also don't know that much about what this book is about, but it has a really pretty cover and a really pretty inside the cover. And I kind of skimmed the jacket while I was trying to find a book for a different prompt, but then I saw it had the word plague and death, so I was like, you know, this could work, because I don't have that many books that I know are about sick people, except for like The Fault in Our Stars, which I don't particularly care to reread right now. So we're going with House of Salt and Sorrow. The next prompt is a fantasy novel, and I don't read a ton of fantasy, but I have a lot of fantasy books because I've been part of a fair amount of book subscriptions the past couple of years, and some of them tend to send a lot of fantasy books, which I didn't expect, but I have a bunch. And I also subscribed to Fairy Loot for a while, which is straight up fantasy subscription, so that one was on me. But I got some great books. Like I have a copy of Serpent and Dove over there that I'm obsessed with because it has the gold edges, and also I just love that book a lot. But Wicked Saints, I also don't know much about. It's like a kind of a mystery, but it has magic and Let's just read what this says. A girl named Nadia who hears the whispers of the gods inside her head. A prince surrounded by desperate suitors and deadly assassins. A monster hidden behind pale, tortured eyes and a smile that cuts like a knife. The path of these three characters become entwined during a centuries-long war filled with sinners and saints, magic and mystery, and a star-crossed romance that threatens to tip the scales between dark and light forever. I'm super excited for this book, and I also just love the cover, and I love the back cover, and I love the inside. And this is the Owl Crate edition, so it's black and red instead of white, and I think white and black. I don't know. But it's so pretty. I'm excited to read it. Alright, number 5 is a novel set in the past, and I don't care for too much history or historical fiction, so I'm going with Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue because it's still like a YA novel, and from what I know about it, it's supposed to be like fun, and I don't know if it's light. I feel like it would be more of a lighthearted book, but I don't totally know. But based on the way he is dressed, I'm assuming it takes place in the past. Yeah, I also don't know much about this book, but it's also been on my shelf for a while. Oh my god, I got paint on it. Oh wait, I knew I got paint on it. Oh well, it's fine. The next prompt is a novel of your choice, and I picked Birthday by Meredith Russo, which has also been on my list for quite some time, and I just recently picked up this book and was like, oh, I want to read this, but then I had this arc that I wanted to read first that I just finished last night, and wow, I cried a lot reading it. It was not a sad book at all. It was 10 Things I Hate About Pinky, but it made me very emotional. So I cried a lot last night. Basically, it's about Eric and Morgan, who are best friends, who have been best friends forever, and I think it takes place over 6 of their birthdays, and they share a birthday. And I don't know too much about what Eric's deal is, but he's like worried, I think, that Morgan won't want to be his friend anymore, and Morgan is keeping the secret, which I'm assuming is that Morgan is a trans woman, because in the thing it says, but I'm trapped in this mixed up body, in this wrong life. Maybe one day I'll be ready to become the person I am inside, to become her. To tell the world, to tell Eric, but when? That's why I think that's what this is about. Next prompt is a murder mystery novel, and for that I am doing the book A Good Marriage by... I have to look that up. One of the books that I got for my May Book of the Month box, because it's a murder mystery, and I don't read a ton of murder mysteries, but I like the concept, and I like murder mystery movies, but I don't read a lot of murder mystery books. I don't know why. Like, I read Sadie a couple years ago before it came out because they sent me an arc, which I appreciate, but at the time I don't know if I just actually didn't care for the book or if I was just reading it at not the right time for me, so I wasn't super into it. But I was just like, I don't understand why I'm not into it, because it's not like I didn't like the writing, it's not like I didn't like the story. I liked the concept, I very much enjoyed the concept, but I don't know, when I was reading it, this book and I were just not vibing with each other, and that's okay sometimes. It's A Good Marriage by Kimberly McCreight. I'm very sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. It's about this woman named Lizzie, who is a lawyer, who gets a call from her friend Zach, who is in jail because he needs her to be his lawyer, and after he was accused of murdering his wife, which he claims he didn't do. Technically, I don't know if he claims he didn't do it, but he's the prime suspect, and he needs Lizzie's help. He needs Lizzie to be his lawyer, so Lizzie, I'm assuming she does, and she goes into his life and Zach's marriage to Amanda, the woman who was killed. Then that goes into like this whole rabbit hole of stuff. Next is a novel about family, and for that I picked The Remarkable Journey of Coyote Sunrise by Gemeinhart. I'm very sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. I'm very sorry if I pronounce anybody's name wrong in this video, because you know, I wouldn't be surprised if I did. 5 years, that's how long Coyote and her dad, Rodeo, have lived on the road in an old school bus crisscrossing the nation. And they have been living on this bus for 5 years, which is also how long it has been since Coyote's mom and her 2 sisters died in a car accident. Yes. So basically what happens is that they've been traveling, they live on the road, and they're all good. Until Coyote finds out that in their hometown there was a park that was very important to her and her mom and her sisters, where they buried a treasure box, and they want to tear up the park. So Coyote gets her dad to drive back, and I'm not sure her dad realizes that they're going back as she's getting them there, but she gets her dad to go back there to try to get the treasure box, I guess. And like, they meet a bunch of people on the way. That's my extent of the knowledge on That's the extent of my knowledge on this book. Oh yeah, it says a Junior Library Guild selection, so I'm assuming this is a middle grade novel, but I used to see it at Target all of the time, and I just loved the cover and I loved the title, so I bought it. and I'm gonna try to read it now. The next prompt is the first book in a series you've been wanting to start. It's not gonna be the program, I'm not reading it. A different series that I've been wanting to start, that I've heard such good things about, that I've also been really excited for, I just haven't started it yet, is The Diviners by Libba, Bray. I'm pretty sure it like takes place in New York, and I think it's about magic back in the day. Oh yeah, 1920s New York City. Evie O'Neill, exiled, boring hometown, shipped to the bustling streets of New York City. First of all, you don't get shipped to New York City. I'll tell you that right now. Positively ecstatic. 1926, New York's filled with speakeasies. So yes, I have been wanting to read this book for a while. I was gonna read it in October because I came up with a list of a whole bunch of books that I wanted to read in October because they had this like magical, witchy, spooky Halloween vibe, and this was on that list, and I can't even tell you what I read in October last year. Definitely none of the books on the list that I made. The last prompt is a novel that you can dive right into, and I picked Mad, Bad, and Dangerous to Know by Samira Ahmed. Still don't know a ton about this book, but I've read Samira's other 2 books. So basically what's happening is that Kayam is going to Paris with her parents, and she is an art historian, should love this. She's really excited, but she's going through a whole bunch of shit, so she may not enjoy it as much. But then her story is alternated with this other story of this girl Layla from 200 years ago. Kayam begins to connect allusions to an enigmatic 19th century Muslim woman whose path may have intersected with Alexander Dumas, Eugene Delacroix, and Lord Byron. I'm sorry if I pronounced any of that wrong, I don't speak French. Echoing across centuries, Layla and Kayam's lives intertwine. Why does it not look right? It looks like that T shouldn't be there, but it should. Echoing across centuries, Layla and Kayam's lives intertwine, and as one woman's long-forgotten life is uncovered, another is transformed. Those are the 10 books I would like to read in May, that I hope to read in May. We'll see how that goes. I will try to make weekly vlogs about it for the month of May. I don't see why I won't be able to. I think I will. We'll see how that goes. And that's all I have to say for today. I will put a typed list of this in the description, and all of my social medias will be in the description, and everything you need to know will be in the description. And that's all I have to say for this video. Bye. I'm not doing this well at all.